Up.
8:58.
We're still, are they okay now? It almost sounds like I'm too loud. That's good.
Not as much as Charlie last week. Oh my word.
Charlie get wound up?
He finally talked into his mic.
Oh, he actually
And
talked
it
into it.
blared. Well, I think it was turned up so high to try to catch him when he was back. That was fun.
That's hard, people aren't used to it, It'll be like you out in the squad, and you key the mic and then look out the window and talk, see?
That happens a lot.
No.
Knocking your mic, a lot easier to hear.
So, for some reason, when I take a call when I'm driving and with the Bluetooth in on the vehicle, I know I talk too loud. For some reason, I think I need to talk louder.
Well, the road noise makes it seem like you need to talk louder, I think.
But I tell you, I hear so much better if I want to hear what's going on. If I get my vehicle and it comes in on the Bluetooth, because I've got a Bose speaker right here and a Bose speaker right here and one right here. They're good. I mean, they're very, very good speakers, and it's just as clear as can be. But then I think I got to talk louder. Or you put your hearing aids in, then you think you got to talk louder too.
I thought maybe you took them out.
Are we getting there? Getting close? A little bit yet.
Oh, we're there.
Where's Charlie?
We are there.
Here's
actually.
Charlie.
All right. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is Tuesday, November 27th. Welcome to our weekly Cottington County Board of Commissioners weekly meeting. We'll begin the meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance. And Jim, you want to lead us today? Oops, wrong word. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Jim.
Thanks, Jim.
Now we need to settle in here after all of the turkey and vacationing that we've had. I hope everybody had a good vacation, a good time with their families, and we're beginning the holiday season now, and so there'll be a lot of excitement going on here the next month. A couple of housekeeping things. If you have a cell phone, check it. Make certain that it's either silenced or it's off. And if you do get a call during the meeting and you need to take it, please step out in the rotunda area so you don't disrupt the meeting. Is there anyone in the audience that wishes to address the board during the open? We'd like to make certain that we give them time, we give them a couple of minutes. If there's any items that you wish to discuss that are not on the agenda. Seeing none, how about the board members? Is there any items on the agenda that you feel may be a conflict of interest? Seeing none, then
I'll
let's
make a
go on
motion
and
to approve the
we'll
agenda.
approve the agenda. We have a motion by Hanton,
Second.
second by Gable. Any discussion? During the open, I will give you a brief of what happened at that public hearing. I think the paper did an excellent job of covering it the other day, and I appreciate that. But if there's anything that you have any questions, I'll be happy to share with you, and it'll only take a minute or two. We'll do it at that time. Okay, we have a motion, a second. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. What about the
Move to approve as
minutes from the
emailed.
November 20th meeting?
Second.
I heard a lot of noise over here, but who was it?
I said,
Brenda,
Brenda made the motion and
Troy,
Troy made the second. All right, any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Let's go right on to the monthly reports, and Jim? Thank you, Jim. Good morning, again.
Morning, Jim.
Morning, Jim.
Just have you turn the button on there. Yeah, it's No Shave November. It's coming off soon.
No, I was impressed with the color there.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought it was going to be brown when it came in.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, I've got a few
Probably
things.
diet.
I've got a few things this morning. Begin with, update on the generator. As you know, we've been having a lot of trouble there. We did pull the V-Rock out of there again, and literally we just replaced anything that we could replace on that, from the bottom of the tank up to the pump. It appears to be working good now. I checked it again this morning. We had fuel right there. What we did to fix the problem, I don't know. Somewhere along that line, we had a leak to where we were getting air rather than fuel, but we don't know. And the bad thing about it is, like I said, we've got fuel there now. After we restored the fuel, we fired the generator up, and then the fuel pump and the engine started leaking fuel. So we had to replace the fuel pump on the generator motor itself. So that has been replaced. The old pump that was on there could be rebuilt, but they told us that it'd take a week and a half of downtime. And with the jail complex, we can't take a chance of losing power during a week and a half period. So we put the new pump on there. We've got the old pump, and what I plan on doing is taking that down and having that rebuilt. We can do that. I've got just a rough figure of about $800. It could be less than that or a little bit more. But then have that fuel pump as a backup. And they said if we want to do that, we need to do it right away, because diesel fuel that's in the pump standing there, it'll get stagnant and start gumming up and stuff. And when they rebuild it, they use a calibration fluid that's in there, and the calibration fluid doesn't get gummy and stick up, or it gets sticky and stuff. So with your permission, that's what I'm going to do, is have that one rebuilt, and we'll have it boxed up and right there in the building. If we need that backup pump, we've got it on
Is that
hand.
somebody in town here that does that work?
DK Diesel does
DK?
that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd say get her done. We don't need any action, do we, on that? Consensus?
Not on
No,
that.
no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Consensus on the
No.
board, I'd say get her done. Is
Yeah.
that all right?
No, there's no action is needed.
Get her fixed.
Okay. On December 3rd, we'll be installing new radios that were ordered using funds from the Homeland Security grant. Those new radios will be going into the communications room in the basement of the law enforcement center, and that's the radios that the sheriff's department, the jail, emergency management, and the backup 911 center use. So all those radios are 15 years old or older. And so we're updating with the newer radios, and we'll start doing that on December 3rd.
Will you repurpose those radios? Is there some other organization in the state that could use them, or?
The only thing with the radios that were taken out, they're the Motorola 1500s, which Motorola has already told us they've discontinued providing parts and service for them. And they're also... if you wanted to take one of those radios and put it on the digital system in order to get it up to where it's operating properly, it costs you $600, and then here in a couple more years it costs you another $600. And to put $1,200 into a $2,300 radio that's 15 years old, it just doesn't make too much sense. That's the reason we're updating these. Now, those radios, Myron, can be used on the analog side.
Yeah.
And we've already transferred one of those old radios over to the fire department up at Wallace to use just analog.
Yep.
And we plan on doing that with some of those radios when needed.
That was the same issue that we had with the sheriff's office here, like a year and a half or 2 years ago, when we decided to go with the new portables so that we didn't have to do those updates because it was going to cost more in updates than it would be to just replace the
Right,
radio over
right.
time.
But if we could do that, you know, if Wallace or Florence or some of those needed, they're there.
Right.
Yeah.
And I've been working, you know, I've worked with Wallace here in the last month or so on those, a couple radios out there, so. And I talk with the other fire chiefs too, they know if they need assistance, we're there for them. On December 12th and December 19th, from 6:30 to 9:30 each night at Watertown Fire Station number 1, we're going to be doing hazmat training for first responders and, you know, people from businesses in the community that want to attend the hazmat training. It's, you know, for those first people that approach a hazmat incident to do so safely and know what they can do and what they shouldn't be doing. Again, that's on December 12th and December 19th. We scheduled that in the evening, so hopefully that we'll be getting some of the rural firefighters that haven't had that training. We get them in and they can go to their regular jobs during the day and attend this training in the evening.
6:30 to 9:30?
6:30 to 9:30. They'll start at 6:30 and it may run until 10 o'clock, you know, depending on how fast they get through their instruction material. The search and rescue team here, I think it was about 2 weeks ago, we had a call to Lake Kempeska for a dog that had fallen through the ice. And we used a new hovercraft, and it was 9 minutes from the time they responded. They were out there, they recovered the dog, and they were headed back to shore. So
That's great.
that hovercraft really worked nice for that, you know, and it's so much safer than trying to have somebody go out on foot on thin ice and falling through and so forth. But they worked really nice, and it was a very quick response. Had that been a person, you know, there could have been the difference between survival and not. I'm working with Prairie Lakes Hospital, with Watertown Fire Department, and with the Hamlin County Emergency Management. There's a new program that has been started in the state of South Dakota. It's called Stop the Bleed. And I don't know if you've heard about this or not, but the Stop the Bleed program, you know, the military has found out, and doctors, first responders have found out that if you can control blood flow, that you can save a lot of lives. And what this program is, and we're going to be doing a community fund drive to get funds to buy Stop the Bleed kits. And these Stop the Bleed kits will go into each of the schools in Hamlin, Clark, and Cottington County, kind of the service area for Prairie Lakes Hospital. And there's a tourniquet in there. There's other medical supplies. And if you have an artery that gets cut or, you know, severed, that tourniquet can be the difference between saving a life and not. And so we hope in, you know, other buildings, other businesses in town, we're going to be getting the word out to them that, you know, that they get a Stop the Bleed kit and have it there with their AED units. And so just so that you're aware that we're working on that, we've had one meeting. We're going to have another meeting here the first part of December. And we are going to be, you know, going out to different organizations in the county and soliciting funds to help pay for these kits. The larger kits are like $200 some that would go into each one of the schools. So we've got some funds that we need to raise, and this is going statewide.
Well, it's a national thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's.
Is it prompted by mass shootings?
It is, but you know, with the Stop the Bleed kits, you know, it could be an automobile accident where somebody severed an artery, or it could be a mass shooting, like you said, or somebody that gets cut with a knife. Or I remember here, and it was a number of years ago, but a jogger in Sioux Falls was running down the sidewalk and slipped on the ice, hit a big glass window, and the window broke and it cut his femoral artery. And he died before he got to the hospital. Just
We actually started carrying tourniquets on our gun belts at the police department
Okay.
now. About a
That's-
year and a half or 2 years ago, we went to tourniquets.
I
And
was gonna ask if the
carry
patrol
'em.
vehicles will have these kits. You said there's larger ones, then are there smaller
They're,
ones
they're
too?
smaller ones that, like are at $40-some, and that, that we can take care of, locally out of our own budgets, but, as far as getting these kits into the schools and other public buildings, we'll have to have that fundraiser.
Is there going to be a class that's put on for the staff? And-
We're going to have some people trained as trainers, and then with these kits, we'll be going out with the kits and doing the instruction on how to properly apply a tourniquet and how tight it has to be and so forth. So,
Good idea.
okay, and let me see here. Last thing I guess I have this morning is tomorrow I'll be attending the city department head meeting over at the Watertown Police Department. So tomorrow morning at 9:15 I'll be over there. And that's all I've got, I guess, unless there's some
Okay,
questions
any
this morning.
questions for Jim? Thank you, Jim.
Okay, thank
Thanks,
you.
Jim.
Thanks for all your hard work in getting that pump up and running. Let's hope that we got her done now.
That has been the most frustrating thing I think.
Need to stop
You
the
know,
bleeding
you-
with that thing.
You'd think that you found the problem and and then it wouldn't work again. And then and like I said, we've got it working now, but I have no idea what the major problem was.
It's just like when your power window won't come up.
Yeah,
And
and you're
so
pushing
you
the button.
take it out to the dealership, and it works perfect.
Jim, I
Trust
have
me,
a
it wasn't
question. On those
Yep.
smaller kits, where would they be placed? Like, the ideal spot for smaller, larger, what differentiates what needs to go where?
With the smaller kits, if you wanted to have a smaller kit, put it with the AED unit. But like here at the courthouse, if we get a kit, I would go with the larger kit here at the courthouse and have them with the AED and have your AED unit and the kit right next to it. So
your
you
bigger-
can grab either or.
So you don't have to
Bigger
think of two
sort
different
of-
locations.
Right.
It's
Right.
right there. if you
It's
need
right
it.
there.
Okay.
Yeah, good idea.
Okay.
All right, thank you, Jim.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jim.
All right, let's go on to Sheriff Brad. Good morning, Brad.
Thank you very much. They're trying to run all numbers off the board.
Good morning.
Looks like Lee's getting it pulled up there.
Morning, Brad.
So excited. How's it going today?
Good. It's cold outside.
It is. Let you guys spread those that way and that way. All right.
I think you got two, one for Brenda.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry.
See, I thought I brought enough. for everybody.
trying to hog my stuff.
Yeah, I just thought Brad had a long report today.
All right, well, we'll start with the monthly balance sheet. The first page there we have, end of balance of 2018, October, was $11,919.50. And then for October, we collected $24 in copy fees, $10,681 on sheriff's fees, and $625 on warrant fees, for a grand total of $11,330. Jump to the next page. Lee's got it pulled up on the big screen there. In October, the Sheriff's Office responded to 560 cases and calls, 26 accidents. You can see that's up a little bit. Deer season is upon us, a lot of deer strikes. We served 84 warrants, 244 civil papers were served, and for transport miles, we did 4,973, and that was 21 transports and 27 people were transported. If you jump on down to the jail activity there, in October, our average daily population was 73.29. Our high ADP was 85, low was 56. We had 28 people on the scram, 65 twice daily PBTs, and 60 on twice weekly UAs. 7 people on the sweat patch for a grand total of 160 people in the 24/7 program, And for bookings, we had 230 bookings for the month of October.
They're starting to use them sweat patches again a little bit more.
Yeah,
For
the
a while,
judges
they
are
kinda
starting to
backed
order
off.
a few of those. They kind of come and go a little bit. For a while there, they weren't using them, and now I
Like
see that they're.
last year, November, December, all
Yep.
the way up till March, they didn't have them hardly.
Yep. And if you jump on down to the fees collected, we collected $12,732.95 in the out-of-county contracts, $8,450 on work release fees, $6,626 on 24/7 fees, and $5,652 collected on scram fees. I just wanted to jump on, got a couple little comments here I wouldn't mind making. I want to thank Watertown Ford and the Family Worship Church. They provided Thanksgiving meals to our inmates on last Thursday for Thanksgiving. So that was really nice of them. So they got fed really well for dinner and for supper. So I'd like to thank both Watertown Ford and Family Worship Church for that. A week and a half ago, we had the Sheriff's Conference. It was held here in Watertown. We were the hosting agency, so you've probably seen a lot of sheriff's vehicles in the area here. We did a lot of training, a lot of jail training. I know Lee was involved with a forum and some of the training. So that was a pretty good, well-attended conference. Jim hit up on the generators already, so I won't go on that. And he also hit up on Stop the Bleed, so I won't share about that. But one other little project that we at the Sheriff's Office are going to work on throughout the holiday season here, a thing called Project Pajamas. It's something that we're going to do. We're going to collect new pajamas for kids that have been put in emergency care. So someone that's been put in emergency care, maybe into the foster program, or law enforcement. I know Troy's been there before, where we have to take someone out of their home and they go into foster care. So we're going to run that December 21st up until now. So if you have any new pajamas you'd like to drop off, you can drop them off at the Sheriff's Office or Wishart Insurance. They offered to do that as well. You can drop them off there.
Do you have
KWAT.
sizes, or are you going to advertise this anywhere?
We're going to start advertising it here. We're working on getting that. We're going to push it out on our Facebook. And
Okay.
there'll be some PSAs out on the radio as well. The 21st is going to be the day we're going to do like a stock the squad. We're going to park a couple cars, maybe at KXLG and one at KWAT, the local radio stations here in town, and try and get some people to bring in some new pajamas for the kids that have been put in emergency care. So.
Great idea.
So that's a project we'll be working on. Like I say, you'll hear more about it as time comes on. We're still working on getting it up and going. So
This is the first year you've done this?
this is the first year we've done this. Last year we did the No Shave November, and we were raising money for a family that had some medical needs there. So each year we like to try to do something, give back to the community. So this is what we're working on this year. So.
Okay, any questions for Brad? Brad, you want to just sit tight? We're going to go on to number 6 in case we have some questions. Action to approve the 2019 liquor license renewal application. Just if there have any comments on any of the requests that we have from our local.
The 4 licenses that we have that are up for renewal are the South Fork Lounge, the Rooster Bar, Country Road Barn, which I don't believe they're
We're not
up
operating.
and running yet, but they're, yeah. And Dakota Sioux Casino. Do you have any report on any of those complaints?
I don't have anything abnormal, I guess. So
Okay.
Nothing there.
That barn, is that the one that's going to be
The new
north
one.
of town?
On County Road 6?
6,
Yes.
okay.
Now Rawville,
Yeah.
was that in there?
Rawville no longer has a license. All they have is a beer license because they sold their liquor license to
Yeah.
the barn.
Yeah.
And they don't need to renew their beer license.
No, that comes in July.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, you've heard those
No
requests.
issues, Brad?
No issues for us on any of those. So.
Okay.
Okay,
I'll make a motion to approve those.
I'll second that.
licenses.
a motion by Hatton, second by Van Duzen to approve those requests to renew their license.
As a matter of interest, the cost is $850 for the liquor license, and then Dakota Sioux has an extra $500 for a type of wine license that they have.
Okay.
For that type of wine license, is anyone eligible for that, or is it just them? Is that a special sort of exception?
I could not tell you that. Let's see, what is it called? This is a retail on-off sale wine and cider. So any of these places could
Could do
apply
that.
for it if they wanted to, but Dakota Sioux is the only one that
Okay.
has, and they've had it for quite some time.
All right, thank you. Cindy, any other questions? Anything else? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same side. Motion carries. All right, thank you, Brad.
Brad?
Let's go on to number 7 then. This is the action to approve the contract for 2019 with Community Health Nurse Services, or for the Community Health Nurse Services. I had a chance to review this contract, and it appears to be the same one as we have approved the past number of years. There's a little bit of an increase in cost, which is the first time in many years that they've implemented an increase. Is that right, Cindy?
Yeah, it's many years that we've been paying the same amount of $13,390. Their increase is 1.2%, which amounts to about $161 a year.
And that was for their state salary policy, is why I believe that was.
Yes, consistent with the state salary policy for fiscal year 2019. So the total for the contract has previously been $13,390. It will go to $551, rounding it up. So, and
All
that's
right.
paid out quarterly in
Any
2019.
questions on that contract?
And that is to contribute to the salaries of the community health nurses in the office that the county maintains.
Make a motion to approve that.
Second.
Contract?
Motion by Hanson, seconded by Gable. Any discussion? Now, there is at least one employee there that is a county employee though, right?
Two, actually, the WIC secretarial and nurse
right.
secretarial.
Yep. So they're not all under the state contract.
And those salaries are paid entirely by the county.
Yep. All right, any more questions? We have a motion and a second. Any more questions? Seeing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Full same sign, motion carries. Action to declare a copier as surplus from the welfare department to be destroyed. And I have no information. I think that was in the minutes. Was it?
You
Approval
approved a
of the
new
minutes.
copier for the welfare director last Tuesday. She said this one is barely hanging on by a thread. Cost to repair it would not be a cost savings to the county, so she's recommending that it's destroyed.
Is it budgeted? Was it
Yes,
in the budget?
she does have budgeted funds.
make
All
a
right,
motion
we have
to
motion by
declare that
Newsom,
surplus.
second by Waterman. Any discussion? Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Number 9, discussion, possible action to authorize the chairman to sign a letter to the city fire marshal stating intent to eventually install sprinklers throughout the courthouse.
That's probably me, Mr. Chairman.
Go ahead, Lee.
Yeah, so I don't have the letter ready. I have a draft that I've sent over to the fire marshal to make sure it says what we need to say. So I don't think we need to take action right now. But what this does, if you'll recall, when we did the bid on the fire alarms, it was kind of high. Part of the reason for that was there were probably more alarms than there needed to be, and by giving the fire marshal this letter, they can help with the specifications for those eventual bids on a fire alarm system, so that it doesn't have to be quite, the density of fire alarms doesn't have to be quite as high, so that would bring that cost where it should be. So this is just part of working toward that, but that's basically what this is. We don't have to take action on it. I'd prefer to wait until I have a letter that's been worked with the fire marshal and the state's attorney. So,
Okay, we'll put that on the agenda. How long do you think we're going to need?
well, I would think maybe a couple weeks, but I'll let the auditor know as
All
we
right,
get closer.
sounds good.
So, yeah.
Also, do you remember, I was just trying to think, what was that initial dollar amount? I can remember picking myself up off the floor, but I can't remember.
For
what
the
that number
sprinklers or the alarm?
was. Yeah, the whole system. I knew
Well,
it was gonna be
we
high.
had them separate, yeah, it was.
It was
we had
high.
this- Yeah, the sprinklers for, just to give an idea, and this includes running the line from the courthouse
Yeah.
to the street, was 90-some thousand dollars. And that includes the sprinkling of the basement and the ground floor of the courthouse, running the line. So to sprinkle the rest of the courthouse, we haven't done that. We haven't taken that out we haven't gone to bid for that yet. So I would guess, though, it'd be somewhere in that ballpark, because you're doing more floors, but you don't have to run the line to the street. So it's somewhere on there. You also have a lot more historical features to work around as you go up in the courthouse. So that's going to be a challenge for whoever does it. But
All right,
anyway,
okay. So Commissioner Waterman, prepare yourself.
Well, I was just had a question when we were talking about the sprinkling of the courthouse. Are we gonna do up in the dome too?
I can tell you what the general, if you're talking the attic space on the third floor, kind of this or that side of the third floor, no, it's this side of the third floor. They suggest a dry system because it's not as well insulated up there. So that's the area around the dome. In other words, you'd have sprinkler pipe, but then you'd have some kind of a switch that would allow, they wouldn't be filled with water, so they wouldn't freeze. But yeah, you'd want to do that. But so it's the area around the dome, basically. So.
All right, answer your question?
100%.
All right, very good. Let's go on to number 10 then. Action to approve the commissioner's contingency transfers. What do we have this week?
We have our court-appointed attorney budget this month needs $11,589.86. The catastrophic legal budget needs $4,364 because when we set that budget up, we set it up for the amount that we had been budgeting, and expenses came in higher due to other counties with major
So it's a
claims.
clerk assessment, basically.
Clerk, right?
That was a catastrophic.
Catastrophic legal expense.
Legal.
And
Yep.
what was the amount on that, Cindy?
$4,364. That'll be a one-time thing. I don't anticipate any more claims for that for the rest of the year.
I think we just did the last one this
Yeah.
past Monday. So.
Yeah. And then the Board of Mental Illness, $694.26 for that budget. There is one other one I need to check. I don't know what I did with my sheet on that. Let me look it up quick. The ag building budget is overexpended.
We're about 17 grand right now.
Let me see. Right now, the ag building budget is overexpended by $3,105.66, but I did receive a $5,000 check from our insurance company for that damage to the building back in June, so I can do an automatic supplement, so we don't need to address the ag building at this time. So the total we need to transfer today is $16,648.12, and that will leave our commissioner's contingency budget at $197,653.
All right, you heard that report. I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make the motion.
A motion by Gable, second by Waterman to take care of that matter with our contingency fund. Any discussion?
Cindy, I'm kind of curious about the extension center budget
It's the ag building.
or ag building. Okay,
It's
what
because of
happened?
that roofing project, when we did some extra insulation when we did that
Okay.
project. So we had not budgeted for that, but because we had to redo the roof because of hail damage, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, we just took the extra step to add the insulation to make that building more efficient.
Right.
It's an opportunity.
Yeah, and we did discuss it at the time that it would probably need some commissioner contingencies. So right now, at the end of November, we'll be good. December, we'll need to do a transfer at the end of the year.
Okay, all right.
Good question. Any others? Seeing none? Any other questions? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. Let's go on then to number 11, discussion possible action to approve the purchase of staging for the Extension Center Complex. And Milo, you have a report on that?
Morning, Milo.
Good morning.
Morning, Milo.
Okay, just to recap briefly, the latest quotation we have from Quick Stage Incorporated is for 10 sets of 4x8 stages, all the assorted parts and pieces, for that stage, 2 stair-step units with handrails, so we can set up stairs on each side of the unit, at a total cost $7,359.51. The Watertown Ag Committee or Chamber Ag Committee has agreed to reimburse the county $3,500 towards the purchase of this stage. So nearly half can be recouped from them. The company, we can place the order with a written purchase order for delivery and payment in 2019.
Yep.
And that's where we're at.
All right, you've heard that report. What's the wishes of the...
I'll make a motion to approve that. That was the larger amount?
Yes,
Okay.
that was with the two
extra.
additional
Okay.
stages
I'll
that
second it.
have been
And
requested.
that motion and second, would that motion be, as Milo said, we would order it and
Yes.
pay in 2019?
2019, yes.
Yeah, okay. We have a motion and a second. Any more discussion?
Just,
So, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
What is the overall length and width of this stage going to be now?
Well, they're 4x8 sections, 10 sections, and so they can be put together in any way, shape, or form using,
Okay.
the 4x8 puzzle pieces.
and these are the kind that collapse down and you can store, they're easy to store.
Yes.
And so, okay, not a plywood box, in other words. So.
Right.
And they're easy to move too. Are they on wheels?
There's a cart included on
Yeah.
this, for transport.
We were out there for the Farm Business Appreciation Banquet here a couple weeks ago, and it was a little crowded up there. They were, so it's time to expand that, I think.
Plus it bounces.
Yeah, you can
Little
see it
bouncer,
moving,
all right,
so.
yeah. Any more discussion? Anything else? Anything else? Seeing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries, and I want to extend a thank you to the Watertown Ag Committee for contributing and helping out with that project and make that facility just more usable all the time.
I'll get the order placed, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Milo.
All right, number 13, action to approve claims for payment, and we have salaries, and what else we have?
Just salary claims
We missed-
today.
We got 12.
We've missed 12, but I
Oh,
don't,
I missed 12?
Change orders?
nothing, still
I don't
waiting
have
on-
anything,
yeah,
okay.
I don't have anything, and I'm,
I don't have anything
All right.
on
But I'm
13, 12 either, so
Okay.
I went to
so-
13, action to approve claims for payment. We have salary, what else?
Yep, just salary claims is all we have today. Total salary claims, $511,820.71.
Move to approve.
Motion by Hatton.
Second.
Second by Van Dusen. Any discussion? Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. Action to approve automatic budget supplements, the POD grant funds. And that means money must be coming this direction, right?
Actually, at this point, we have both POD grant funds and Homeland Security grant funds totaling $42,387.16, and that will go into the emergency management budget, which is where we took those expenditures out of. We have been reimbursed. And then the one that just came in since I sent the agenda out was $5,000 from the county's insurance company for that damage to our building. This is basically the deductible. Our insurance company is going after the person who damaged the building, so we are, at this point, we have been reimbursed fully for the damages to the building, $14,400 when we supplement this $5,000.
All right, thank you, Cindy. Do I have a motion on the floor? I don't think I have a
No,
motion
not yet.
I open for a motion. Motion by Gable, second by Waterman. Any discussion? Any discussion? It's good to see that insurance is settled now.
Well, they're
Hopefully.
working for us anyway.
Yeah, that's good to know. And who is that?
EMC.
Yep.
It's through Fisher Rounds here in Watertown. It's our local agent.
Very good. All right, any more discussion? Any more discussion? Seeing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign, motion carries. Personnel changes. We have a couple in your packet.
The first one is Lisa Felch. She is a legal secretary in the state's attorney's office. State's attorney is recommending moving her from step 3 to step 5 based on her productivity and how well she is catching on and covering in the office. And the second one is Sherry Howell, the emergency management secretary, who's due an anniversary step increase from step 5 to step 6. And $17.40 an hour, and that Lisa's pay increase will go to $16.88 per hour.
Move to approve.
All right, motion by Hatton, second by Gable. Any discussion?
Just a question on the, so
Yes.
the one with the two-step increase, it's, I'm guessing that budgeting and all that's okay with that?
Yes.
That's-
Yes.
I like to give discretion to department heads.
Yes.
Good question. Any other questions? Any other questions? Any other comments? Seeing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. I do not see any travel requests in here.
Nothing for today.
Do we have any old business to bring to the board this morning? Any mature business?
Actually, I will just mention that we should be getting our commissioner emails. I believe you'll receive a notice of your username and password, so kind of be watching for
Actually,
that
you need to
whenever.
provide me with a username and password.
Oh, okay. I thought she said that they would send that to us. Okay.
No, you,
Give it
if
to
you
you?
can prepare
Okay.
a username and password, I can pass it along to Lee Swanson. I've gotten 2 so far, so
Okay.
it's working really well.
Okay,
Well, that's what we need to do. Then
something
we're
else to
going to be good to
remember.
go.
Harley?
I'll remind you.
Just gotta remember where we're gonna write it down.
I was gonna do it when we leave here this morning.
There you go.
Sounds good.
All right. That was
Any
all
other
for
old business? Anything else?
Mr. Chairman, we had a
Yes.
juvenile defense alternative initiative meeting that was last week, Tuesday, so Commissioner Van Dusen and I were there. And it's kind of, the mode of that has changed to kind of a worker meetings kind of. Oh, sorry. The mode of that has kind of changed, so I'm talking about the JDAI because my mic wasn't on. But we had a meeting last week. The mode of those meetings has kind of changed where Annie Broken Leg is walking us through a process of kind of a work plan. And again, like a lot of other programs, the idea is to have community alternatives to incarceration. So that's kind of a neat thing to see. Took place at the Boys and Girls Club. Appreciate their hosting of that meeting. And so work continues in that area.
Okay, good. Thank you, Lee. I would imagine that I could report on that meeting that I had a week ago today with the Dakota Sioux Casino and that compact public hearing, and I'll just make it very brief in the fact that I have to extend a thank you to the city. I did presented first, and then Mayor Sarah followed me. Then directly after Mayor, then the chair of the city council, say his name, Glenn Vilhauser.
Bill Howard.
Yeah, and the
Doug
fire
Kranz?
chief. Yeah,
And
fire
Doug
chief.
Kranz was there making the presentation. So I really appreciate them, and they were very, very supportive of the county, and explained that they were, very supportive to the county, and whatever our requests were, they would stand beside us or behind us. It's one of those deals, people, where we stated our case and indicated that we would just as soon continue with the compact that we're working with right now. And we didn't see no reason why we should discontinue it if, in fact, we could receive the funds that were suggested to us when we initially entered into that compact. And that simply was that this year we should have received $225,000, but they rolled it back to $150,000 because that's what they had paid us the year before. I indicated that we had not received the second half of that payment, and we have now.
It came in yesterday.
It just came in yesterday, so I would, in my mind, it looks like that's what we're going to receive, that $150,000 for 2018.
Yeah, the check was for 75,000 and we had previously received 75,000.
And the information was taken, and the Gaming Commission was there. They recorded everything, and they were taking it back and turning it over to the governor. And this was duplicated in Sisseton in the afternoon. It's the very same thing. And they said the governor was the one who was going to make the final decision on what was going to happen, and that it would probably happen rather quickly. And it could even happen this week, possibly. They said it'd be a pretty quick turnaround. But I guess I wouldn't hold my breath on anything changing. And it's one of those things that, you know, all of those numbers that are in there are maximums. So they can give us anything they pretty much want to, I guess, is what that boils down to. So we give her the old college try, though, and I appreciate the press being there. And by the way, Brad was there as well. Brad didn't testify. He was just there and show us power. And I do think one of the things that they were surprised about is the number of calls for service that we've actually had out to that facility. And when they say that they don't need us, that was very evident that they do need us, that there's a lot of calls for service out there. And they, regardless of what they say, that they don't think they need roads, they do need roads. And I don't think they I think kind of a knee-jerk reaction was, well, if you want us to take care of the roads, then we should take them over entirely. You know, I think that was a knee-jerk comment that they made. They don't want to get into the road construction.
So, and just to remind folks that the issue was, or the compact is an agreement between the tribe and the county for funds to supplement medical, fire, and
Road.
And roads. Yeah, so
I think it was Commissioner Van Duzen, just the compacts between the state and the tribe, and then the
State,
memorandums of
correct.
agreement
Yeah.
that we have would be
Correct.
kind of driven by the compact, and those are between the counties and the tribe.
And now that
Right.
the new compact that they're proposing will increase the number of machines out there up to 1,000 machines as well.
So, Mr. Chairman, did they talk about kind of what the reason, what brought this whole thing about? Was it the tribe asking for a renegotiation, or was it a regular process that the state
I think
requires?
it's a tribe that was asking for.
Okay.
That was my take on it. And the reason for it was simply because they've not increased their revenues. They're pretty tight-lipped about that, and the commissioner said that it was all confidential information, and he wouldn't disclose anything other than the fact that he had authority from the chair of the tribe that he could say that it was either up or down.
Yeah.
And he said that the revenues were down, and that's why they're in the situation that they're in. So, in a nutshell, that's what it boiled down to, so we'll see what
Well,
kind
and
of
just another point of interest, besides the contract, that contract, the city then also, and the county also have an agreement that of the payments we receive from Dakota Sioux Casino, 1/3 of each payment goes to the city of Watertown, and the remainder, and actually a portion of the payment that goes to the county is given to Rawville Township based on their current levy, because that's where the casino sits, and then the rest of that money goes into the county highway fund, not into the general fund.
And of course, I was on the Rawville board when this all came about, and it's a small amount, it's less than $500.
No, it's more than that. It's based on whatever their current levy is. I portion that out. It's over $1,000 usually.
Well, it has gotten up.
Yeah,
Good.
yeah.
All right, so that's kind of where we're at. All right, enough said there. How about new business? Any new business? Any new business? Seeing no new business, let's go to the open then. Anyone have anything for the open?
Two things, Mr. Chairman. On Thursday, there's two meetings. One is the, at noon in this room, is the Behavioral Health and Justice Working Group. So that's Thursday, the 29th. And then, so that's the otherwise known as the Stepping Up Working Group. And then the Cottington County Justice Advisory Committee, that's the jail, courthouse, the facilities committee, that is meeting at LATI that evening, 6:10, at 6:10 on the 29th as well. So just to,
All right,
The behavioral health meeting at 1 at where, here?
yeah,
In this room?
that's here. Yeah.
Okay.
Noon, isn't it?
I want to say noon. This is-
So there could be a quorum of commissioners tonight at maybe the city's tax meeting from 7 to 8 p.m. at City Hall. And I think that is all I had basically for a quorum of commissioners unless
Okay.
somebody else has something. And also, just as a point of interest, I have my ICAP meeting tomorrow, but open enrollment is going on right now for healthcare. And I believe that deadline is December 7th. So if you need to make any adjustments, you probably should be taking a look at that, because then when that closes, that's what it's going to be for the following year. And if there are those people, excuse me, that utilize the Navigator program, that is no longer available through ICAP, so just contact the ICAP office. I don't have that phone number off the top of my head, and they will help direct you, because that's the best that we can do at this point, so.
okay.
I have
yeah.
I have a correction to what I said. I said the meeting, the Behavioral Health and Justice Working Group meeting was at noon. It's at 1 in this room. Sorry about that.
The
So-
stepping up meeting.
The Stepping Up meeting, yeah. So that's Thursday, November 29th, 1 o'clock.
I
Okay.
had it at 1, but-
All right, I see Dr. Sherman and Carrie sitting out in the audience. Did you have something for us this morning?
Executive session. You were not here
Executive
last
session.
week, that's right.
All right,
Yep.
well, good, glad to have you here. Now you've been recognized, so we will have an executive session apparently then. So,
Yes.
and what will this be under?
Number 4, preparing for contract negotiations.
Number 4, preparing
I'll make a
for
motion to go into
contract
exec
negotiations.
under number 4.
All right,
One second.
that being said, I'll entertain your motion to go in executive
I
session.
made the
I have a
motion.
motion from
Motion
Brenda,
by-
second by Gable.
Okay, everybody's talking at the same time. I didn't get you separated. I apologize for that. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We are in executive session.
So we're not likely to have action.
No action.
I think Tom was going to come.
You know,
I got it.
was too, but now I've heard it's covering men.